Welcome back to my channel, and today I would like to share with you a story about a dog and a rabbit. These two animals are domestic animals, and occasionally people keep them as pets. So the story goes, two friends who were living next to each other are keeping pets. One was keeping a dog and the other one was keeping a rabbit. There was a little bit of a worry about the interaction between the rabbit and the dog. Of course, you know dogs eat meat and rabbits don't eat meat. They eat carrots, cabbages, and probably other vegetables or pellets, depending on what you feed them on. So, the person who had the rabbit and the person who had the dog were very close friends. And between their homes, there was just a wall, a hedge of live plants, but there was a little gate through which they would occasionally use to visit each other. And it is through that gate that either the rabbit or the dog went visiting. The owner of the dog was a bit worried. What if my dog eats the rabbit? Isn't it going to interfere with the friendship that we've kept for so long with my neighbor? He kept hoping and praying, and every time he would tell his wife and his children, I hope our dog doesn't eat the rabbit. Otherwise, if he does, I think it's going to be a big problem. Many times the rabbit and the dog were seen playing together on the lawns. No one was really bothered. One day the owner of the dog, it was a Sunday, and he took his family to church. And they went and they had a nice time in church, prayed, sang songs, read the Bible, and did all sorts of things they needed to do in church. Then along the way, they stopped and had some lunch, and then they drove back home for the Sunday afternoon to take a rest. They got through the gate, into the drive, they parked the car, walked out happily, chatting, reviewing the day, and just before they got through the door, out there on the lawn, lay their dog and the rabbit. And the rabbit looked lifeless. But on second thought, they were like, let's just go and see what is happening. And when they got there, sure enough, the rabbit wasn't breathing. The rabbit had dirt all over its fur because it had a white coat. And they thought to themselves, oh, now this is the end of our friendship. This is just the end. Why did this have to happen? And they thought the best thing to do, because they knew their neighbors had also left for the day, to get the rabbit, clean it up, dry it up, and put it back in its hutch and be quiet about anything that may have had happened. So quickly, the lady of the house plus her children picked up the rabbit, ran into the house, went to the bathtub, ran the bathtub with warm water and shampoo, and they cleaned the rabbit, took a towel, dabbed all the water out of it, took a blow dryer, dried the fur, took a brush, brushed the fur, and when they were ready to take the rabbit back to the neighbor, the husband stepped out, confirmed that the neighbors had not yet come back, and kept watch while the wife tiptoed through the fence and to the hutch, opened it, and lay the dead rabbit right in there. And then she tiptoed back and went back to the house together with her husband, like nothing had happened, and they started to watch a movie. And they watched the movie, and then they had their dinner and watched another movie. Then at night, at around 8 in the night, they had screams. Oh my goodness! Now the neighbor who had a rabbit was an Indian. Now I don't know how Indians scream. I don't know that they say ow or ow, I'm not sure how they screamed, but when they had the scream, they thought, oh, what would a good neighbor do when your friend is in danger? So they quickly ran to the neighbor's house to find out why they were screaming. And they knocked on the door, and there was the neighbor's wife, the Indian woman, screaming her head off, and the husband trying to hold her, trying to calm her down. But she screamed harder and said, get this thing out of my house! Get this thing out of my house! I don't want to see this thing out in my house anymore! Oh my goodness, somebody help me! And so the two neighbors were looking at each other and asked the neighbor what happened, and said, it is this rabbit. I said, oh, what happened to it? It's dead. I said, but he is not screaming because it is dead. And again she said, get this thing out of my house. I don't want to see it again. Get it out. And they asked her, but why? Why are you so concerned about it? Because this rabbit has been dead. It died like 2 weeks ago, and we buried it. And now we find it in the hatch. It is a ghost, I think. Oh, I need it out. Oh, please, somebody get this dead thing, this ghost out of my house. I need some peace. So the neighbor and the wife exchanged glances, feeling a little bit foolish and silly about themselves. But the neighbor and the Indian man picked the rabbit and went to bury it for the second time. And the neighbor's wife was left trying to calm down the Indian lady, not knowing what had transpired in the course of the day. And after the rabbit was buried again, the neighbor and his wife left, and the Indian man calmed his wife down, and all was well. When this neighbor got back home, he looked at the wife and asked, wow, who's the fool here? Why did we go through all this for just trying to hide a little mistake? What if we went and told them that we found our dog and your rabbit? They would have confirmed it. But anyway, we've already made fun of ourselves. We've already fooled ourselves. And I think next time, if we find something amiss, we will try correct it, but not try to hide it and make ourselves look very good. So the rabbit was dead, and the dog had just dug it out because he was missing a friend to play with. Thank you. That marks the end of my story.